Can a weed growing in a crack in your driveway be more nutritious than the vegetables in your refrigerator? Can something you spray with chemicals every spring actually contain nutrients that people pay a fortune for at the supplement store? Can a plant that the entire modern world calls garbage be the same thing ancient civilizations used as powerful superfood? But what if I told you that some of those weeds you just threw in the trash contain more vitamins than the vegetables sitting in your refrigerator right now? What if the plants you have been poisoning with weed killer and ripping out for decades are the same ones that ancient civilizations used as powerful medicine? That is not an exaggeration. That is a fact that the modern world forgot. Today, I am revealing 7 common driveway weeds that are packed with nutrients most people are paying a fortune for at the health food store. But the number 1 weed on this list, the one you definitely pulled out this week, that one will completely change how you look at your driveway forever. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. Type weed in the comments if you have ever pulled out a plant without knowing what it was. We are counting down from 7 to 1, and each weed gets more powerful as we go. Pay close attention to number 3. The nutrient hidden inside that one is something most people are dangerously deficient in. Let us get into it. Weed number 7, chickweed, the salad you have been stepping on. Look down next time you walk to your car. That soft, low-growing green mat with tiny white star-shaped flowers spreading across the cracks. That is chickweed. And you have been crushing a salad under your feet every single day. Chickweed is loaded with vitamin C, vitamin A, calcium, magnesium, iron, and zinc, all packed into a plant most people treat like garbage. Ounce for ounce, chickweed delivers more vitamin C than most store-bought lettuces. The flavor? Mild, fresh, slightly sweet, like a cross between spinach and spring peas. But here is what makes chickweed remarkable. It contains saponins, compounds that help your body absorb nutrients more efficiently from other foods. Chickweed does not just feed you, it makes everything else you eat work harder. A nutritional amplifier, growing free on your driveway. People spend $15 on a bag of organic mixed greens at the grocery store. Meanwhile, a more nutritious green is growing wild 3 steps from their front door, and they spray it with chemicals. When you understand what you have been throwing away, it genuinely stings. Chickweed is a hidden salad, but number 6 is something far more powerful. Entire medical traditions were built around this one plant. Weed number 6, red clover. The flower your blood has been begging for. You mow over it every week, those soft, round pink and purple flower heads popping up across your lawn and along the edges of your driveway. Red clover. You see it as a nuisance. Your body sees it as medicine. Red clover has been used in traditional medicine for centuries, not as a folk remedy, as a legitimate therapeutic plant confirmed by modern science to contain powerful bioactive compounds called isoflavones. These isoflavones act as natural blood purifiers. They support circulation, reduce inflammation in blood vessels, and help the lymphatic system clear toxins. For anyone dealing with sluggish circulation, cold extremities, or heavy tired legs, red clover targets the root issue. Red clover also contains calcium, chromium, magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins. The flower heads can be dried and brewed into a tea that people have been drinking for generations to support respiratory health and skin clarity. It is not exotic, it is not expensive. It is growing in the cracks of your driveway right now, and you mow it down every Saturday. A box of herbal blood-purifying tea at the health store costs $12 for 20 bags. Red clover grows endlessly for free. One is marketed to you, the other one you destroy. Red clover supports your blood, but number 5 does something even more unexpected. It targets a specific organ that most people over 50 are slowly losing. Weed number 5, dandelion, the liver medicine growing in every crack. If there is one weed on this planet that every single person recognizes, it is the dandelion. Yellow flower, puffy white seed head. Children blow them for wishes, adults poison them with chemicals. And that is one of the greatest nutritional tragedies of the modern world. Every single part of the dandelion is edible and medicinal. Leaves, flowers, roots. The leaves contain more vitamin A than carrots, more calcium than milk per serving, more iron than spinach. A weed you throw away outperforms 3 of the most recommended health foods on Earth. But the real power of dandelion is in the root. Dandelion root is one of the most effective natural liver supporters ever studied. It stimulates bile production, which helps your liver flush toxins, process fats, and regulate cholesterol. After 50, liver function naturally declines. Most people have no idea their liver is struggling until serious problems develop. Dandelion root supports that organ silently and consistently. The leaves work as a natural diuretic. They help your body release excess water without depleting potassium the way pharmaceutical diuretics do. Swollen ankles, puffy hands, water retention. Dandelion leaves address all of it while actually adding potassium back instead of stripping it away. Dandelion root supplements sell for $20 a bottle at health food stores. The exact same plant grows uninvited on your driveway. You have been buying in a capsule what nature delivers to your doorstep for free. Dandelion targets the liver, but number 4 targets something even deeper, your gut. And the nutrient inside this weed is one the modern diet has almost completely abandoned. Weed number 4, plantain weed, the gut protector hiding in plain sight. Not the banana, not the fruit. This is broadleaf plantain, the flat-leafed weed with thick ribbed veins that grows in every sidewalk crack, every gravel patch, every neglected corner of every driveway in the country. You have stepped on it 1,000 times. You are about to wish you had not. Plantain weed is one of the most nutrient-dense wild plants in existence. Vitamins A, C, K, along with calcium and iron. But the real reason it deserves attention is mucilage, a gel-like substance that coats and soothes inflamed tissue. When you eat the leaves, mucilage goes to work on your digestive lining. It calms irritation, reduces gut wall inflammation, and repairs the damage causing bloating, reflux, and poor absorption. For anyone whose digestion has been declining, plantain addresses actual tissue damage. And there is an external use that our grandparents knew about, but our generation forgot. Crush a fresh plantain leaf and press it onto a bug bite, a bee sting, or a minor cut. The mucilage and natural antibacterial compounds draw out toxins and reduce swelling within minutes. It is called a field bandage for a reason. Hikers and herbalists have relied on it for centuries. Gut support supplements line entire aisles at the pharmacy, $20, $30, $40 per bottle. Plantain weed does the same job, and it is growing through the cracks in your driveway right now, begging you not to throw it away. Plantain protects the gut. Number 3 goes even deeper. The nutrient inside this next weed is one that over 80% of adults are quietly deficient in, and the consequences of that deficiency are terrifying. Weed number 3, stinging nettle, the iron powerhouse everyone fears. Remember I said to pay close attention to number 3? Here is why. This weed stings you. It burns your skin. Every instinct tells you to stay away, and that fear is the reason most people miss out on one of the most nutritionally complete plants on the planet. Stinging nettle. Yes, raw nettle stings. Tiny hairs on the stems inject formic acid into your skin on contact. It hurts, it itches, it leaves welts, and that is why people hate it. But once you cook it, steam it or dry it, those stinging hairs are completely neutralized. What remains is a plant so packed with nutrition, it makes most supermarket vegetables look empty. Nettle contains iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium, silica, and vitamins A, C, D, and K. But the iron content is what makes this weed extraordinary. Nettle delivers one of the highest concentrations of bioavailable iron found in any plant. Not the hard-to-absorb iron in supplements that causes constipation and stomach pain. Naturally occurring iron that your body recognizes and uses immediately. Over 80% of adults over 50 have some degree of iron deficiency without knowing it. Fatigue that sleep does not fix. Muscle weakness, shortness of breath on stairs, cold extremities, brain fog. Most people blame aging. Often it is iron. And nettle delivers it in a form your body was designed to absorb. Dried nettle leaves brewed as tea taste earthy and mild. Steamed nettle tastes like a richer, deeper spinach. A patch of nettle growing along your fence is a free iron supplement that outperforms the $30 bottle sitting in your medicine cabinet. You have been avoiding the solution because it stings. Nettle is an iron powerhouse. But number 2 contains something even rarer, a nutrient so important for bones and blood vessels that being deficient in it is linked to serious long-term damage. And this weed is the richest natural source on the planet. Weed number 2, lamb's quarters, the wild spinach that outperforms everything. What if I told you there is a weed growing on your property right now that is nutritionally superior to spinach in almost every measurable way? Same taste, better minerals, more protein, and you have been pulling it out and throwing it in the trash. Lamb's quarters, also called wild spinach. And the name is earned. Lamb's quarters contains more calcium than milk, more iron than spinach, more protein per leaf than almost any other green plant. It delivers manganese, phosphorus, potassium, and enormous amounts of vitamins A and C. Nutritional scientists who analyze this plant cannot believe it grows as a common weed. But the real story is the protein content. Most leafy greens contain negligible protein. Lamb's quarters delivers around 4.5 grams of protein per 100-gram serving. For a leaf. That is extraordinary. Combined with its mineral density, it means this single weed can provide bone support, muscle fuel, and immune-building nutrients all at once. A complete nutritional package growing uninvited in your garden. The young leaves taste like mild spinach. Eat them raw, steamed, in soups, or blended into smoothies. Most people cannot tell the difference between lamb's quarters and store-bought spinach. But your body can, because it gets significantly more nutrition from the weed. You are paying premium prices for organic spinach, while a nutritionally superior version grows wild on your property. You did not plant it. You did not water it. You did not fertilize it. It showed up on its own, loaded with everything your body needs, and you threw it in the garbage. Lamb's quarters outperforms spinach. But number 1, the most common driveway weed of all, the one you have definitely seen this week. This plant contains a nutrient so rare and so critical that modern science is only now realizing how badly most people need it. Weed number 1, purslane, the most nutritious weed on earth. Everything on this list is impressive, but this weed is in a category of its own, and I am not the one saying that. The World Health Organization listed it as one of the most used medicinal plants on the planet. Purslane, that thick, succulent-like weed with the reddish stems and small, fleshy leaves that creeps along the hot edges of driveways and sidewalks. You have pulled it out hundreds of times. You probably sprayed it with weed killer last summer. Here is what you destroyed. Purslane contains the highest concentration of omega-3 fatty acids of any leafy green plant ever tested. Omega-3, the same nutrient people pay premium prices for in fish oil capsules, salmon fillets, and specialty supplements. A driveway weed contains more of it per gram than some fish, and omega-3 is not optional. It is critical for brain function, longevity, joint lubrication, and reducing the chronic inflammation that accelerates aging. Most people over 50 are severely deficient. They buy expensive supplements trying to fix it. Meanwhile, purslane grows for free in the heat of summer, right where they park their car. But purslane does not stop at omega-3. It contains all 6 types of dietary tocopherols, which are forms of vitamin E. Most supplements contain only one type. Purslane delivers all of them naturally. It also provides beta-carotene, vitamin C, magnesium, calcium, potassium, and iron. One plant. Every major nutrient your body is quietly starving for, growing in a crack in your driveway. The taste is mild, slightly tangy with a crunch, works raw in salads, cooked in stir-fries, or pickled for year-round use. Cultures around the Mediterranean and Asia have eaten purslane as a staple for thousands of years. Only the modern West decided it was garbage. This is why purslane is number 1, not just because of one nutrient, because it is the single most complete nutritional package growing wild in the developed world. Omega-3, 6 forms of vitamin E, minerals, antioxidants, all in a resilient plant that thrives in the harshest conditions and asks for nothing in return. You cannot buy this combination in a supplement. but you can harvest it from your driveway for free. That is why throwing it away is the most expensive mistake you make every summer. How to harvest safely. Before you start picking, 3 rules. Never harvest from areas sprayed with chemicals. Avoid weeds growing next to busy roads where vehicle exhaust deposits heavy metals. Always identify with certainty before eating. Use a plant ID app or guide. When in doubt, leave it alone. Wash everything thoroughly and start small. 7 weeds, all free, all growing within steps of your front door. Vitamin C, iron, omega-3, calcium, liver support, gut protection. Everyone dismissed as worthless by a world that forgot what previous generations knew. The next time you walk to your car and see a green plant pushing through a crack in the concrete, stop. Look at it differently. That is not an invader. That is a survivor delivering free nutrition to your doorstep. The only question is whether you are smart enough to accept it. Nature has been trying to feed you your entire life. It is time to stop throwing that gift in the garbage. Comment which weed surprised you the most. Share this with someone who sprays their driveway every spring without knowing what they are killing. Subscribe and hit the bell. Type 1 if you will never look at your driveway the same way again. Type 0 if you still think weeds are just weeds. Stay curious, stay nourished. The best pharmacy in the world is growing under your feet.